Before I get started, give us a thumbs up, share our video, leave me a comment, at least say hi. Okay, back to business. Are you guys sick of my project yet? I know, but it's always good to pause when we're doing things, or I think so, and give you guys any kind of tips that I can, or sometimes it's a feature. Today, we're not talking about machine features. We're giving some tips on mitered corners. I always get questions about this. We've done videos on it in the past, but I thought I'd do a real quickie on just the basics of putting on some mitered borders. So if you look, and you may have seen in our last video, we did the floating stitches. So each one of these pieces I sewed together with our beautiful floating stitches. So I have just the decoration and not the connecting stitches on the right side. So that was cool. That was last week's video. And now I have to put my borders on. So I thought I'd give you a couple tips. So what I did was I measured after Catherine helped me. Catherine, say hi.
Hi.
After Catherine helped me to square up my piece, because I am square challenged. I don't know if you guys are like that. What do you guys do for squaring up things? Some people have tools. I have Catherine, thank goodness.
Yay.
So after I squared up my piece and made it all nice and pretty, I measured it. So I measured all four sides. Of course, it's a rectangle. Two are the same, and the other two are the same. So I took that measurement, and then in this case, for easy math, let's say it was 20 inches this side. So I took the 20 inches, and my border width was 3 inches. So I have to add both borders to my number. So 23, 26, and then I add 2 more inches to give me a little wiggle room, because we all need wiggle room. So that would be 26, 27, 28 inches. So I would have cut these two long sides at 28 inches. Then again, easy math, it's not accurate, I know, but I need easy math. So say this was 10 inches, then I'd do the same thing. It'd be 10, 13, 16, and then my 2 wiggle room, it'd be 18. So I would have cut these 2 sides at 18 inches. Easy enough, right? So at that point, I would have marked my center mark on the back of my piece. I would have marked my center marks here, and I would have laid my piece right sides together, and I would pin it. So, or clip it. I think I use clips for this part. I would clip it here, and I'd give myself a couple more clips, and I would do the corresponding side. I'd measure it so that I had the middle of my strip lined up with the middle of my piece, and I would pin it. But before I get started, and you can't see it now because I used a friction pen, but I will reenact for you. I came to on the back side of my embroidery, I took this little ruler and I lined it up with the 1/4 inch mark, and I drew a line. Now keep in mind, we're doing this on the back of the project. So if I used a pencil and that's what was there, it'd be okay because it's the back. I happen to have a friction pen handy, and that goes away with heat. So here is my little 1/4 inch line right there. So when I sewed my strip on, I'm going to drop my needle. So imagine for me that this would be right sides together. So on the back, so the right sides together, right? So the right side of my strip together with the right side of my project. My middles are lined up. I'm gonna pin or clip it together. Then when I take it to the sewing machine, I'm going to start, I'm gonna drop my needle right in there, right at the point of that 1/4 inch mark. I'm gonna take a stitch or two and back stitch, again, stopping there, and I'm gonna stitch at a 1/4 inch all the way down till I meet my other box, and I'm gonna back stitch. Then I'm gonna come over to the other side, and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm gonna start at my 1/4 inch box. I'm gonna go with a 1/4 inch seam allowance all the way to the other end, and I'm gonna back stitch right there. Once I have those two, then I'm gonna do these parts. I know I'm repetitive, but I think it's always good that people get an idea of where we are with things. So I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna start in the 1/4 inch box. I'm gonna go across, and I'm gonna go across. So what I've done is I've given myself the exact spot where things are gonna intersect, right at that spot. So if we flip this back over, and you guys look at my corners, you can see this is the finished corner. I think it looks pretty good. It's good enough for me. I'm happy. So even my little stripes lined up, and how that works is I take my piece here and I lay this one flat, and then this one I'm gonna fold. And I'm gonna fold it and play with it a little bit. Now, if this were a plain border, say my border was just a 3-inch border, this would be a little easier. I wouldn't have to fussy it so much to try and get my stripes to line up. But doesn't that look really cool? I think it's so neat when we can put these together and have them match up like that. So I'm gonna play with it a little. Don't mind, I tried to cut my finger off this week. I can play with it until that's like that. And then I'm going to take my iron and I'm gonna press that. Who saw my video last week on using a clapper? So nice. Steam, steam, steam. And then I clap, and it gives me a beautiful, crisp line to follow. So now, what's next? We're gonna pin. Not a lot of pins, just a little bit of pins. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna stick a pin in, because what I want is I want these pieces, when I flip it over and bring it to the sewing machine, I want these pieces to stay together. I'm gonna unfold my little piece here, and I'm gonna throw in another pin. Now, the hardest part of this, the real work, is done by this crease, right? So I know when I lay it back down, now I've pinned it in place, so these pieces won't shift. All I have to do, I'm gonna actually crease that one more time. I just want to make sure it's not gonna move. Oops, and I'm gonna spill the pins everywhere because that's what we do around here. All right, we'll pick that up later. So now I have my piece pinned, and when I go over to the sewing machine, I'm going to unfold this, just like this. I'm gonna find my little spot. Remember where my pieces came together? I'm gonna find that spot right there. I'm gonna put the fabric under the needle. I'm going to drop my needle right there in that spot where that intersection is, and I'm gonna follow this crease all the way to the end. And when I do that, and I always check before I cut, when I do that and then I press it, I'm gonna end up with that perfect corner. So once it's sewn, I can then cut away my rest of my fabric and leave just the seam allowance, and it will end up looking just like that. So 2 down, 2 to go. hopefully you guys, well, maybe we'll see this project one more time. Maybe we'll come back with binding next week and do a little lesson on that. So I guess, any questions in the comments, any hellos? Always love to hear from you. And I guess that's all I have to say about that. Keep stitching.